Dear friends, today we will discuss basic principles of Indian Constitution under the 15th lesson, basic principles of Indian Constitution. So, this is third video in this 15th lesson. This is very important. If you want to look at Indian Constitution, it has its own particular major principles, basic principles. So, what are the basic principles of Indian Constitution? So, particularly if you want to look at this Constitution of India, we have certain basic principles. First one is secularism. Secularism is the first important basic principle. Actually, this word is added according to 42nd Amendment in 1976. So, what is secularism? India was made as secularistic country. You mean so? Secularism, it's a kind of philosophy where all the religions are treated equally. Because talking about this, the country which is having many religions and many religious people are living here, we need to give priority for all the religions. So, and based on particular religion or religious philosophy, laws cannot be made. So, equal treatment of all the religions, and there is no priority for any religion, there is no encouragement or discouragement of any religion. All the religions are treated equally. This is the philosophy we call secularism. Yeah, India is strongly committed to conduct its what you call system based on secularism, because we need to give priority or importance, or we need to give place for the interest of the minority people. So that is there. That's why secularism, the word is added into Indian Constitution according to 42nd Amendment in 1976. It's the first principle. Second principle, we made India as a democratic country. Democratic system. So democratic system, we just after getting independence or before independence, freedom fighters gave priority for democracy. Of course, democracy nothing but demos and cracia, people's rule. It is the best, according to Aristotle, it is the best form of government. It is the best form of government. So that during independence and after independence, even we started working on democratic governments, working on democratic type of system, and we evolved our country on those lines, and we established democracy. We gave priority for the democratic principles, and we have been operating country based on democratic principles. So there are elections, all these people are being elected, and everything is good. So at present we made India as the largest democratic country in the world. You mean India is strongly committed to conduct the government based on democracy. Peoples and their interest and have been we have been following the Universal Adult Franchise, a kind of strong democratic system that is being evolved in our country. I'm really, the world is world is looking at India at present, because the way we are operating democracy, the way we are working on it, the way the accountability that is there, the way that the transparency that is there in the Indian democracy, that we are, of course there are some problems, but anyhow, since independence we have been operating democratic system well. Even when talking about the neighboring countries which got independence along with India, failed in many times. There is a problem in Nepal, there is a problem in Pakistan, there is a problem in Myanmar, Bangladesh, and all. Even in Sri Lanka, a struggle that was there between the different communities and sections. But that cannot be seen in India. India is a nice country where democratic system being operated well. This is about democratic system. Coming to the socialism, third one is socialism. India announced this word also taken in 1976 according to 42nd Amendment, 1976. 1976, according to 42nd Amendment, the word socialism is also added. What is socialism? Actually, if you want to look at the socialism, it's a kind of system where rich and poor won't be. Everything will be under control of government. Priority for the private people will be always less, and justice for the sections which are facing were facing certain problems. You mean that a kind of system where there will be no rich and poor. We are trying to enhance, or we are trying to improve the standard of the backward sections, so that Indian government also, particularly Nehru, was interested to operate the system based on socialism, because socialism that was introduced by, operated by, implemented by Russian government. That's why Nehru interested and influenced by Russian government and Russian system, so that we introduced later, of course, but his model is based on socialism. Nehru's model is based on socialism. Of course, we are operating, we are committed to that, and we are working on it, and we are implementing certain schemes and programs for the for the weaker sections. We are trying to fill the gap between the rich and poor. That's about socialism. Socialism speaks something about equality, right? So this is also fundamental principle. And again, fourth principle talking about this republic. Republic. What do you mean by republic? So republic nothing but a country which is an elected head. Head of the nation is being elected. So in any country, if the head of the nation is elected, such country is called as republic. And you mean that there is no place for hereditary king, and India is a republic country, because Indian head, who is that president of India, is called as a head of India, head of the nation. So head of the nation is our president is being elected. So that in any country, wherever we see that the election for the head of the nation, that country is called republic. So in India we made India as a republic country. So 26th January 1950 onwards, we made India as a republic country, where there is no place for hereditary king, there is no importance for any king or kingdoms and all this. So head is coming based on election, whether it is directly or indirectly, that is different. So our president is indirectly elected, so that he is head of the nation, and that's why we made India as a republic country. We have been celebrating Republic Day on every 26th of January every year. You mean India was made as an important republic country. This is one important. And coming to the fifth one is sovereignty. Sovereignty, very important. Sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Sovereignty, supreme power. Nothing but supreme power. In India is a sovereign nation. How can you say that India is a sovereign nation? India is a sovereign nation because India can take external and internal decisions without depending upon any other nation. You mean it is nothing but supreme power, sovereign, complete power, supreme power. A country which can enjoy its supreme power in taking its internal and external decisions without yielding or depending upon any nation or any organization, anything. So here nobody can control India regarding external matters or internal matters. It's our interest, we can take our own decision. We will have our own system. So my point is here, India is a sovereign nation. Sovereignty nothing but supreme power. Power to take decision in decision without yielding anything, any person, any organization, without depending upon any person. This is a kind of sovereignty. India is a sovereign country. That's why sovereignty, the word is taken. And one more important area, sixth important point is we have introduced fundamental rights. Providing fundamental rights, also one of the basic matter or point in this constitution. All the people can enjoy all fundamental rights. So that these are taken from America. Fundamental rights actually which are very important for the success of the country and the people. So that's why people and their interest, people and their development mostly depending upon the fundamental rights. Without fundamental rights, I think it may be difficult. So that we committed to take these fundamental rights, and we have been providing for the people of India, and they are enjoying fundamental rights. So this is a another basic principle of Indian Constitution. And one more system is parliamentary. We adopted a parliamentary system. Parliamentary system. You mean that when talking about democracy, there are two types of systems, governments, right? One is a presidential type of democracy, parliamentary type of democracy. In a presidential type of democracy, where president is the head of the nation and can take all the decisions, and he has more supreme than the other systems, other bodies, executive body or other bodies. But whereas here we opted parliamentary system. Here there is a parliament, there are two houses, and particularly lower house, Lok Sabha members are elected, directly elected by voters, and a party which secures majority in Lok Sabha can form the government. Here parliament is supreme. In this democracy, parliament is supreme. In that democracy, in presidential system, president is supreme. So we adopted this parliamentary system. We need to go to the parliament. There is a parliament, there are two houses. House Lok Sabha members are elected directly by the people. Party which wins more seats in the Lok Sabha can form the government, can rule the nation. A kind of system that is. So, President of India is nominal and Parliament is supreme, which can amend the constitution, which can take all decisions. Of course, here Prime Minister can enjoy all the powers, because indirectly Prime Minister is enjoying powers. Indirectly, majority party can enjoy powers. Indirectly, party which secures more seats can enjoy powers. And parliamentary system, it's a particular system that is adapted from England, right? England parliament is called as mother of all parliaments, right, in the world. So that we followed parliament system. We have taken parliament system from England. So whatever they introduced, the same thing that we are. There also we can see House of Lords, House of Commons. Here also Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, like the same system that we adopted and we have been following, and we committed to that, and we adopted it and we are following it. This is about the basic principles of Indian Constitution. So when talking about Indian Constitution, it has very very important question. This is, it has certain basic principles, and every aspect for these 2 points, for every subheading at least 2 or 3 points we need to write. So then it will be always, it is being given for essay type answer, right? Everybody should go through this and write all these points, subheadings, and every subheading at least 2 or 3 points are to be written. Thank you. With this we will put an end, and tomorrow we will meet.